Welcome back to The Foundation. This is Swaythoven, and I wanted to give like a little philosophy on lyricism and flow, or especially if I can remember to talk about the flow part. But the lyricism part, I think, even though it's not something that people think about, like the science of making lyrics or something like that, because those words come from you. If you're somebody who also makes beats, I also feel like it's not that difficult to maybe think about some lyrics. But there are factors to that. Because you can make real generic lyrics that fit on the beat based off of a vibe. And it's as simple as that. And maybe you really have to catch that vibe and feel the vibe. All right, you can make lyrics based off of experience, right, what you've lived through. And when it comes to flow, right, how you talk that out, how you rap that out, it's like maybe you can fit it on any EB beat, but due to the vibe of your experience, maybe it needs to be put on a certain type of beat, right? But the thing is, like, I like to make my beats straight from scratch. And I'm not saying I have a lot of experiences, right? But if you're someone who wants to make your own songs and feel like there's limitation, maybe that's not a limitation. Maybe that's just like what you are at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's what you can do at the moment. You haven't even quite figured out how to master it in terms of the beat making, the lyricism. Evolution's a thing. Everything can always evolve. But it's just like what you say on the thing that you put down, what you create. Maybe you didn't put down anything. Right? Maybe you might be looking through beats on YouTube, Drake type beat, right? Kendrick Lamar type beat. I don't know what people listen to nowadays. All right. And then you're gonna think about certain type of lyrics. So just think about that. Because you're thinking about, you've already looked up a specific vibe. So now you're gonna have a flow or a type of wordplay specifically, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, right? And maybe it's not the end of the day. It's just like with this idea, I feel like I'm not gonna say it can enhance it. It might help you maybe able to like say something easier over a beat. It's just like those couple of factors, I think, tie in line with like first, and this might get like a little like far fetched, but like we're just humans working on music, trying to get an idea. What is an idea? Right? You can't touch an idea. You can't see an idea. You know what I'm saying? But it does come to you. It does go through your mind. And if you can focus enough, you can manifest that idea. Okay? So it's just like with music, it's just, if you already know how to make music, you're using these notes that we've categorized with letters to make music. And whereas these letters don't make the English language, you're still working with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or at least C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know what I'm saying? You're making a song that makes sense to the ears. If you were to try to speak those letters out, it wouldn't make any sense. Feel me? But the lyrics come into play based off of the vibe, based off of just other factors. And I guess I really can't specify the vibe, I guess. That's not the good word. You start putting your own words made from letters over that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think it's not a problem for trap beats to like have like simple lyrics or anything, because the beats aren't that crazy complex. And I'm not saying the beat or the melody is dictating what the lyrics are, but when you have things that are a little bit more open, a little bit more free, the vibe is, and that does, the thing is, the vibe, even though I say that's not the right word, it probably is the best word, because we're talking about frequencies, sound, which produce vibrations and which people like resonate with. Okay, so it's just like, if you have the right person resonating with the right type of vibe, and I'm not trying to say the right type of experience, but if their experience is also on that vibe, good experience, happy type beat, major chords, boom, you know what I'm saying? Of course you have ghostwriters, so it doesn't really matter, but it's just like these factors that tie into just one singular thing that some people might think is simple, right? And whereas it might not be difficult, one person could do it all themselves, right? They could create their own vibe, their own lyrics, and master that completely, but it takes being able to identify what that is, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, trap beats might have like the most basic lyrics. They might follow like a similar theme and all that. But I'd be thinking pop beats are also like kind of not complex or advanced, but like the melodies, the drums, right? How, the space, right? The vibe is just a completely different thing, So it's like you're gonna get different lyrics. You're gonna get a different type of feel from that, right? It makes you want to say something different. So it's like wouldn't get caught up on like, and maybe it just might be me on like fucking kindergarten lyrics or nursery rhyme lyrics, and maybe you should. You know, you gotta have to add your own little pizzazz to it. You feel me? But speaking of the vibe and the sound vibrations, and I've been sharing what I make to other people. You hear my voice sounds, right? Here it sounds monotone, this, that, and a third. So when I make stuff, right, I make it so like the rest of the project hopefully has some good enough energy for my monotone sounding voice to like fit right in there. You know what I mean? Feel me? But rapping doesn't have to be melodic or super dynamic. I can just use my regular voice. It would make sense. This, that, and the third. But yeah, it's just like when thinking about lyrics or anything like that, or maybe you want to make your own songs, it does start with like a vibe, you know? It's like everything is a vibration in this reality. I used to talk like that. I have a YouTube channel, Sway in the Attic. I used to talk like that. But everything vibrates down to the smallest particle. And, you know, if there's one thing, well, we can't control vibrations, but like if you kind of have that in mind, with sound and the frequencies, you opening up an equalizer, trying to attenuate frequencies to change the vibe and tone and shape the whole thing, right? I think there's a really primal, or at least like just beginner thought to say it's just a vibe. You know, if you can fit the vibe, I'm gonna keep saying this shit, even though like I just said maybe it's not the right word. It might be easier to make not only the beat, but also put the words over it. Now the thing is, it makes sense saying it that way because genres, right? R&B, hip hop, right? I know I didn't kind of say that, but I'm saying it now. Like, you know, especially R&B, it's a whole different vibe. You're saying different stuff in R&B. Country is a whole different vibe. You're saying different stuff. But no, really, it's like the white version of rap, because you're just not really saying different. You're not saying the same words, but you're talking about your life experience, blah blah blah. And I'm not saying it's the same thing with pop. Pop seems to be a little bit more different, but not really. And I'm only thinking of a couple songs, like some Billie Eilish songs, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, but those are more energetic, different type of vibe, and you can take that for what it is because those are like global songs. Right, everyone loves pop songs and all that stuff. So it's just like, you know, even though I said it's like a philosophy on lyricism, it's more so when you can match the vibe alongside possible experience, it's just like, it's not that difficult to make lyrics. Or at least just put words down on top of the musical words you put down. And I say that, saying that like, oh yeah, it makes sense to everyone that I'm saying to, or this, that, and the third. But this, for example, right here, like, this is a beat. It's not mixed perfectly. It's not mastered perfectly or whatever, but it's a vibe. And it made me think about certain words that are very generic or whatever, but it's just like, if it was like a more interesting beat, I promise you I can make more interesting lyrics, which I have. Beats that I don't make, I feel like I have made or think about other stuff, but it's just like, I don't make those type of beats, you know? And that could be a limitation, or that could just be me. Like I said, this is not mixed perfectly, so.
She sucking dick and cursing, that's how you know she worth it. I wonder where she learned it, but I know I shouldn't concern it. Just lay by while she work it, start doing split, she twerk it. Getting hot and heavy, burn it up, we getting third degree, return it up and slip to the point of no return. Trying to get lost in the pussy while we watch the whole world burn. She got that fireproof, know that pussy made of water. Drink it like it's juice, after plugging in that charger. That's why we make that spark, you can see him after dark. The way she turned back, told me keep on going, make me harder. That's only just for starters, get that pussy under fire. Keep on shooting shots, I ain't never getting tired. These bitches under heat, got them burning calories. She matched my energy, giving me abilities. Now I got her under sheets, and it's only getting harder. Performing all these tricks, must be reading Harry Potter. She don't ask me anything, she gonna get it twice. Financially illiterate, forget about the price. Stop trying to be a pretty bitch to freak him out at night. Might even get a diamond ring if shorty play it nice. She take it like a soldier, now she fucking with a stepper. My bitch get little colder, but she keep applying pressure. These niggas couldn't hold her, can't chase her, can't catch her. The way she throw it back on her, these niggas tryna fetch her. Little chocolate drop, eat it like it's Willy Wonka.
Man, this would be amazingly if this was produced, like if this was mixed well. Like I'm just listening to it now and it just sounds titty. Like, cause the melody, I really fuck with the melody that I made with this. And it's just, I missed the mark on this cause I'm not like the best like producer or mixer or whatever, but it's just like, yeah, I really like that song, right? I'm not even, and the thing about it, I'm not even saying that the lyrics are the best. They're kind of generic lyrics, right? But it's also like, I don't think it's something that someone else would have thought of, right? When you listen to it, you might be like, oh, I could have thought of that. But you didn't. I thought of it first because I made it. It came from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, they don't think it is. Or, damn, I messed it up. They don't think it be like it is, but it do. Should I say the like it and subscribe thing? Does that really work? Because really, I'm making videos just for fucking fun right now.